How we doing? How we been? Welcome back to the Space with Spo show. Today's episode is brought to you by Space with Spo, the only place on the internet where you can get space news with unfiltered original comedy. I got a great episode planned for you guys today. I was joined by my buddy Pete from the iGETiT podcast. So go ahead and sit back, relax, and enjoy the ride.
The dash is digi, the schedule busy. My head in a hoodie, my shorty a goodie. My cousins are crazy, my cousins like boogie. Life is amazing, it is what it should be. Been here for 10, but I feel like a rookie. I tell her look up, cause it's snowing in Tussies. Booked for 3 years, man, you can't even book me. It's me and Lil Baby, the going crazy.
Live from Murray Hill, Manhattan, you are now listening to Space with Spo.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we got a big episode for you today. Coming to you live from New York City, we have a special guest with us. We got Pete from the iGETiT podcast. Pete, how we doing? How we been?
Thanks for having me over, bro. First of all, your setup is legit. I love the vibe in here. It's very podcasty, very inviting, and I'm excited to be here with you. Thanks for coming.
Thanks so much, Pete. So me and Pete have been buddies for a long time now, and I couldn't have asked for a better person to kick off the second half of the first season of Space with Spo, which I want to do more in-person interviews, right? I want to bring you guys in front of the camera to talk about space and life. So, Pete, you're a great first guest to have for the on-camera session.
First of all, this is your second season, by the way?
It's season 1, part 2, okay? I'm
part
learning
2.
as I go. This is going to be episode 21, and this is the first time I'm doing something in person like this, which I wanted to do. So thank you so much for coming by.
Yeah, I like the in-person vibe more. I know you've been doing more of the video thing with what's it called? Zoom shit, like the Zoom meetings and stuff like that, which is totally cool too. But I think in person, you get a better connection with the person, with each other. So, thanks for having me over, bro.
Hey,
I'm
my
excited.
man. So,
excited.
Pete, for the people who don't know you, why don't you tell a little bit about yourself and your iGETiT podcast that you host?
Yes. So again, my name is Peter Nazario. It's Peter Nazario on Instagram if you want to follow me there.
I'll pop tag it right here.
Oh yeah, that's right. Editing King over here. So yeah, I mean, the iGETiT podcast is something that I created out of the blue. I mean, iGETiT is just an understanding of what I have to do to make myself better, and I'm preaching what I practice so that the people around me can understand that and get there with me, because I mean, we're all in this together, and I just want everybody around me to be happy and be successful and just get what they want in life. So I had to create something that I could believe in, because sometimes myself, I would let myself down. So this iGETiT, this whole podcast thing that I've created is bigger than me, so I can always gravitate that back to that, and it keeps me motivated in my life, and it's awesome. Just like your Space with Spo stuff too. I mean, I'm sure you find motivation in doing certain things through this as well, right?
100%.
Yeah, bro. So I mean, me being here, it's just a testament to my, everything that's coming together. So first of all, that book, by the way, the Russ book. How'd you read that book? Do you like it?
I'm halfway through right now.
Yeah.
I love it. I'm a huge Russ fan. I love how one of my favorite things about Russ is that he understands that greatness takes time.
Yeah.
And I love that he built a brick house over time by believing in himself. That was one of the coolest things ever.
Yeah, I mean, I totally agree too. I mean, for me with my podcast and my movement that I'm creating, the way that it happened, I couldn't even explain it. It just popped into my head, and once I had that idea in my head, I just step by step, I created a plan. Just how can I, what do I need to make a podcast? I need a mic, I need headphones, I need a desk, maybe just to have people come over and sit down and chill. But I never had any doubt in my head that I couldn't do this. So I think that's what propelled me into the podcast scene as we're doing right now. So yeah, it's super exciting too. What was your journey like? I feel
so. Pretty much one of the reasons I think we get along a lot is because we're both in this solo.
Super handsome. That's one.
Besides that, but one of the things is that we both have solo podcasts, and I think that having a solo podcast is almost 10 times harder than if you had a reoccurring host right with you, because we're producing it, we're editing it, we're doing everything by ourselves, and I think that's pretty hard, right? And I think that I respect the fact that you understand, where you want to be. This is helping you, and at the same time, you're helping other people, and I really respect that.
Yeah, I mean, again, it's just preaching what I practice, just to get my feelings out there. I think it's important for people to express themselves through any medium. It's with everything going on in the world right now, it's hard to, kind of find a level head. So any way you can express yourself, whether it's through a podcast or music or art or any avenue, I'm 100% for. I never shame anybody for it. When you started this, I was always super supportive. I was yo, bro, because I know what it feels like to put yourself out there for the general public to view and to I don't want to say judge, but you're like, no matter what you do, you're going to be judged for sure. But it's hard to put yourself on the internet with something that you're passionate about. So I totally respect what you're doing, and then I was behind you 100% of the way, because sometimes you just need that one person or somebody to give you a thumbs up to keep on doing what you're doing. So
Yeah.
I hope you keep doing what you're doing, brother.
Me too. Well, I'm excited for iGETiT. Where's the show at now? Where do you stand? What are your plans for the future with iGETiT?
I mean, so iGETiT. I initially created it. Like I said before, like I needed something to believe in, because something that I always say is, like, sometimes you let yourself down a lot, like because you're a human being, you're a person, you make mistakes and all that stuff. So iGETiT was something that I could always say in my brain. Like, my one friend told me one time that he's like, I feel like I can just go on top of a fucking hill and just scream that shit out loud. Like, I get it, like, I understand. Like, it's just it's a universal understanding. So, like, me just creating that for myself it helps me with my goals, with real estate, or just my general health and everything. So the podcast itself wise, I'm starting to come back, because, like, I think we talked about this like for a brief second off the camera. I kind of stopped for a little bit. Not because I fell off with, like, the whole movement or anything, but I was more focusing on myself and what I needed to do to progress more into my life. But now that I finally am attaining the things that I want, I can come back and say, okay, like, this is what I've been doing to get what I need, to get what I want, so I can start preaching that again. Mm-hmm. Right?
Yeah. It's crazy that people don't realize taking a break is so necessary in anything you do. And I tried to be tough about it. I tried to be like, no, like, I want to be on social media. I want to be putting out these podcasts. I don't need a break. Why would I need a break for something that I enjoy doing? But just, like, it's so overwhelming in 2021 on social media. You need a break. I need a break. Like, the past couple days, or the past 12 days, I've only posted 3 or 4 times, and I have anxiety about that, right? What are some things that you do to reduce your stress and anxiety when your job is technically to be helping other people on social media, right?
I mean, well, like, just to talk about that in general, like, even like Simone Biles, what's her name? Like, the gymnast. Like, she took a whole.
I forgot her name.
Well, gymnast Simone something. Like, she took a whole break from, like, competing because she was overwhelmed. But for me, it's kind of it's a tough thing to navigate, because I think we talked about this on my podcast. It's a forever, like, slot machine. You're creating something that you're constantly creating, and you're seeing the numbers go up and down, and then maybe one time, I'm sure you on TikTok or whatever, you hit, you got a viral clip,
slot machine, baby.
Yeah, you got a viral clip, and you're like, oh yeah, like, this is dope, like, this is so cool, and then that feeling goes away
real quick,
real
fast.
really quick. I mean, that's the whole design of social media in a nutshell. But for me, like, I try not to look at the numbers at all. I try not to look at the comments or anything. I just want to, okay, this is what I want to talk about today. This is how I feel. I want to preach that, and then just keep it moving. And sometimes I don't want to say anything. I don't say anything. I don't want to have that pressure, because it's easy to look at the likes and you feel that validation. Like, you're like, oh yeah, this feels good. Like, oh, look at everybody, like saying good job, or like, oh, like, they agree with me and stuff like that. But I like just putting stuff out there, because it's fun for me. I don't know. Like, it's hard to explain. I think when you're a creative like me and you, or anybody else out there who creates stuff, excuse me, it's just fun to, again, like, the self-expression is super important. I tend to just not look at the likes and the views and everything, because you'll get caught up in that, and it'll take you down. It's tough.
Do you think that your iGETiT podcast, like, what category does it fall under? Is it like health and wellness, would you say, or?
I don't know. I guess health and wellness, because I guess I do preach a lot of mental stuff and, like, food things and stuff like that. But yeah, I guess health and wellness for sure. I guess your brain is one of your most important organs. So I try to just preach more of like a positive vibe, like meditation / like energy frequency. I think one of my favorite quotes is from Nikola Tesla. Is like, if you want to find out the secrets of the universe, think in terms of energy frequency and what's the last one? I totally forgot. Energy, frequency, and vibration.
There you go.
Yeah, baby.
I like that. And so where social media is going, and with changes in technology, and all these kids are Now on TikTok and, Instagram is no longer a photo sharing platform. Right now they're saying it's a video sharing platform.
Well, now it's like shopping too, apparently.
It's crazy. They put the shopping tab right where the like button was. It's like, what are you doing? I don't want to shop on Instagram. But what I was saying is the generation below us is going to need somebody like you and your podcast to help them with their mental health, to help them with what they're eating, and to this iGETiT like lifestyle that you're promoting. And I think it's really important that the generation below us is given those tools that they need to live a normal life. Like, I'm truly afraid for my kids because I don't know where technology is going to be at that point. Like, we are living in such crazy times. I'm scared for it. And we need like better mentors out there to give people the tools they need to like reduce their, like make sure their mental health's good, right? And like just understand that life's not all on social media, right?
Yeah. That's a big thing too. Like, social media in itself is, it's a great place, but it is what you make of it. Especially with like the algorithm and everything. Like, whatever you keep looking at, like, you're gonna keep seeing that all the time,
I hate
all the
that.
time, which is a good thing and a bad thing. Like, it could be a great thing if you're looking into things like to better yourself, like a morning meditation, or what workouts work for this, or how do I lose weight, blah blah blah. But if you also look up crazy things like, I don't know, stuff that's gonna make you feel insecure about yourself, anything, it's you're gonna keep seeing those things. So, I mean, my advice for kids, like, honestly, just to like not be on not be on social media, because not be on social media, but just understand that it's not real. It's not real life, and I mean, don't like sink your teeth into it. Essentially.
Well, I have like a good thing to say about that and a bad thing. See, I think where we're heading, social media is very much becoming real life. I mean, we're becoming cyborgs. I know it's bad, but
what's a cyborg? A cyborg is like just like a half.
It's funny. I always say cyborgs. I have no idea what the fuck a cyborg is.
It's like a half man, half like robot, right?
Yeah, basically. But
I mean, that's right. That's like us right now, because we
have it in our pockets.
Yeah, exactly.
I was gonna say something funny about especially Instagram's algorithm. Like, I searched Cristiano Ronaldo's girlfriend one time, Gio, right? I think she's beautiful. Now, if you look at my Explore page, it is all photos of this one lady. Like, if you were to take my Instagram and look at it, you think I'm a crazy person. It's like,
I mean, not even that. Even if you just talk close to your iPhone, it's just like, oh yeah, I want to go to like Italy, and then like you see a bunch of like, oh, like here's a trip for Italy for $100. Like, hey, come through. It's like, dude,
it's scary, man.
It's annoying.
It's scary where technology is going. Hey, speaking of advanced technology, let's dive into the UFO report. Last time I saw you, we were actually talking. I was like, hey, there's a UFO report coming out. This report dropped. They have confirmed that unidentified aerial phenomena exist.
What's the new word they use for UFO? That's what it is?
It's a UAP, unidentified aerial phenomena.
Gotcha,
right?
gotcha.
Because we don't, they're craft, right? But we don't know what, it's a phenomenon, right? We don't know what the fuck it is. So the point is this government report is a preliminary report. It basically is admitting that something is there. They're saying that these incidents with the Navy involved multiple sensors. So we know something's there, right? This technology seems like it's controlled by intelligence. Do you think that intelligence is the same, is related to the same stream of consciousness where we're getting our good ideas from?
That's a great question.
I get it consciousness, is that the same? Like, are they just like on a different frequency but the same level, or what? In your opinion?
Damn, that's a great question. I
We're
feel
getting deep here, baby.
As a civilian, like it's so like hard to answer that question, but from like a consciousness level, I mean, the universe is like a vast place, super forever expanding. But I think what makes us higher on the food chain is we have that we're aware of our consciousness. We understand that like I am me, and like the voice in our head is me. Apparently, allegedly, could be, again, like you said, frequency vibe. It could be somebody else channeling me to do something that I should be doing. But when it comes to aliens and consciousness, I mean, I like to believe that we're all on the same level of consciousness, especially like human beings, because again, like I said, we are the only ones that are aware of our own consciousness. Like a dog doesn't know it's a dog; it's just a dog. But human beings, we have that gift that we listen to that voice in our head to guide us. And like I just always say that your conscious is like your guideline. So you should always listen to your conscious, and it will guide you on the right path. But it could be aliens. it could be aliens, telling me what to do. Yeah. But what was the question again about UFOs?
The question is that.
So I always go off on an iGETiT tangent.
If that technology, or who's ever controlling that technology, my question is this, and I'll paint it out a little bit longer than what I said. Here's what I'm thinking: whoever has this technology is 100,000 years ahead of wherever we are. As technology improves and as civilization improves with whatever they're going towards, the answers to the universe have to become more clear, right? As you become more advanced. And if the answers to the universe get more clear, I feel like they understand consciousness better than we do, right? Because we don't know what the fuck consciousness is.
Yeah, that's like a forever thing. Like, we don't understand what consciousness is. Like, people keep trying to say, I mean, look at, kind of tying this into religion. Like, people think that the voice in our heads, some people think it's God, Allah, Buddha, whatever. But I like the idea that consciousness can't be explained. Some things don't need an answer. Science is cool. It's always trying to figure out what it is, but there's always that one thing that they can never understand, and they're always trying to learn, just to do more studies and everything to understand what this thing is. But I think it's what happens if we figure out what consciousness is? What's next?
That's the scary part, right? It's almost like you don't be careful what you wish for, right? Yeah. And I think that more people need to realize that consciousness and everybody is conscious, right? Well, for the most part, not some of my buddies at the bar, but you know what I mean? What was I going to say? This is the thing. I personally think, I know consciousness ties into space and it ties into time. And I don't know why more people aren't more curious to where we're getting these thoughts. Who's that? I know, like you said before, I'm me, right? I think. But reality is, if we don't know the answer to consciousness, am I really me?
Well, who else would you be? Is a better question.
Shit, is there somebody controlling me from a PS2 controller in another galaxy?
Damn.
I mean, is there a reason why I don't remember? I don't know, man.
Yeah, but I feel like when you dive down that rabbit hole, it could be any sort of answer that you want it to be. But I think the important thing is that we are here, We have a voice in our head, which is we call our consciousness, and we have I like how you mentioned time. It's just we have a finite amount of time on here, so I like the idea of trying to figure out what it is, but to get lost in that rabbit hole and to think that I'm not gonna shit on your analogy, on your saying what am I being controlled by a PS4 like a kid playing PS4, thinking that will kind of diminish your whole existence, and then you're like oh fuck what is life anyway Life is a gift. Life is a gift, and you should enjoy as much as you can. Don't think about fucking PS4 controllers and someone controlling you. I mean, I love alien talk as much as anybody else, but we'll figure it out eventually. We're all gonna be in the same boat.
From being just I know you're actually a space fan, which is really cool, but from
love
just
your
being
show, bro.
Shout out to me. From being a regular dude, how was that report digested amongst the general public? Did you hear a lot about it? Besides me,
nobody gives a fuck anymore.
That's what's crazy, and that's what pisses me off. It's come on, we finally got some cold hard evidence that there is something flying in there, and everybody's just all right, what's next?
The fucking government was just yeah, by the way, there's UFOs out there, and that's it. And everyone's yeah, whatever. What's up with Corona?
You know what it was? They dropped the report on a Friday at 3:00. I mean, I'm over there on the beach. I'm on my 5th margarita. It's
if I just totally forgot about it.
Yeah. But I look.
I mean, as a general person, not somebody who is sorry, I'm yelling into this mic.
You're good.
Yo, what up? As a general person, just not in the scene like you are. I understand I don't give a fuck attitude, honestly, because unless they land on here in front of my front yard and say, hey, we're running this shit now. Okay, I understand. All right, cool, I'll fucking bow down or whatever it is. But I mean, if it doesn't really affect my life. And I'm not gonna. I don't want to. Oh my God, there's aliens out there. And they're gonna come invade us, and that messes with me. It puts me in a state of mind where I'm just forever in fear.
Yeah, fact.
And I don't living in fear your whole life is not gonna keep me healthy. Mm-hmm. Some people just worry themselves into sickness. So if you're worried about what your consciousness is, or aliens gonna come down and conquer the world. I mean, it's cool to do to see UFOs and like all the government stuff, but at the end of the day, it's just like I understand that the people not giving a fuck about it because I mean they've been talking about it for years.
Yeah.
Where are they?
Yeah.
Come down here and say hi.
For me, I get motivation behind the unknown aspects of space. Everybody's always like, Espo, why do you like space so much? I like it because it's like uncharted territory. There's so much out there to discover, and I feel like there's a lot missing from our story here. So for me, I don't necessarily look at it like, oh, I'm just waiting for the aliens to drop down and speak to us. I'm looking at it in a way like there might be a huge chunk of our story missing because we're not taking this topic seriously. So that is why I am dedicating pretty much what I'm doing now in my life to spreading the word and truly trying to get to the bottom of this because, like I said, it's uncharted territory.
What do you mean like there's something missing from our story?
Like, I think that there is a huge part of our story missing. When you look at our planet, we've been here for 4.5 billion years.
We haven't been here for 4.5
No, I
billion.
don't. I'm saying our planet's been here for.
Yeah.
What I'm saying is, I'm a big believer in there's been shit that's happened on this planet before us. We really don't like. We have an idea of how humans evolved, but there's a big missing chunk of everything where it's like, how did we advance that fast in that short of a time? And I'm not saying aliens dropped out to help us build the pyramids, but I'm saying aliens might have dropped down and helped us build the pyramids.
I mean, well, what are the pyramids like? Their coordinates are speed of light, right?
Yeah, speed of. Oh my God, that's fucked up, dude. There's the blocks.
Again, the rabbit hole of just like going down the space hole.
And it's the ramp. It's like if they built the pyramid with the fucking ramp, where'd the ramp go?
Like,
okay,
you put a razor blade in between each block, like blah blah blah. But which is super cool, by the way. Again, like who fucking built the pyramids? Like I don't know, whatever. But
we're not going down there today. That's for next episode.
That's a crazy fucking conspiracy tinfoil hat thing, but. Gucci?
Yeah, we're good. What was I going to say? Yeah, man, there's something up with consciousness. There's something up with space and time connected with consciousness. But like I said, you go down this hole that is just undiscovered. And that's why I love what I'm doing because, Pete, what's stopping me from breaking the next big UFO story in 5 years?
I was going to ask you, what was your first inclination of, okay, I want to do this? Like, this is my
Space with Spo?
Yeah.
Dude, I've been a space guy my entire life. I've always been that UFO, kid. Like, everybody always thought I was fucking crazy for believing in UFOs. Like, I have a college essay from 2014 where I literally wrote in a speech that I have for a class. I was like, all I want to do in life is do something that I'm happy doing. I believe in aliens. I like, I like partying, and that's me. And I like to stick with the things that make me happy. You know what I mean? And space is just.
I get it right there.
Yeah, and space has just always been this big part of my life because it gave me hope to travel to new places. Like a lot of people, and I say this on every fucking podcast I go on, but the reality is that the worst thing we have ever done as a society is call a star a star. Stars are suns just like our sun, and when you think of a star like that, it starts to put a different perception in your head that, holy shit, these are points on a map that I can visit if we get our technology right? And that's why that's why I'm so obsessed with this shit, because there's just so much uncharted territory out there.
I like how you said you want to go places and stuff like that. Like where do you want to go?
Bro, I want to go everywhere. Once this UFO technology drops for the humans, I want to just travel the universe. Dude, there are planets out there 5 times the size of our planets with oceans like you've never seen. There's beautiful mountain planets. There's a whole planet made out of diamonds. I might not go to that one, but
for sure. I go there.
What I'm saying is this, a lot of times you live your daily life, you go to work, you go home, you eat dinner, you watch football, you do it again the next day if you're lucky. But the thing is that I'm not satisfied with that. I'm looking at our planet. When you look at our planet from an overview effect from when you're in space, you realize this is just one of trillions of options out there, and I'm not satisfied dying on this planet. I have family here, I have friends here. Why not travel the cosmos, dude?
Yeah.
Space is fucking huge.
But here's a question for you: what if this is the best one? Out of all the options, I know it's very vast, I know it's huge, but what if it's for us as human beings, we evolved at a certain rate, and we breathe oxygen, we do all these things, it's perfect for us. What if it's
dude, that's such a good point.
What if for us this is the best that we got?
That's such a good point.
Even if not the best planet, but for human beings, for ourselves, what if it's the best?
Yeah, I always think that's funny that space isn't made for humans. We'll die if we go to space,
100%.
right?
Oxygen day, you die.
It's just so funny that I'm in love with something that kills me. Literally, you know what I mean?
I like women, so.
Oh my God.
Ayo.
Is that gonna be the clip? That might be the clip. That might be the promo. That was good, Pete.
Thank you.
That was really good. What was I gonna say? Yeah, man.
Space kills you.
It's funny that I'm in love with something that kills me, but at the end of the day, dude, it's just some people fall in love. Well, I like football too, but that's a bad example. But some people fall in love with cooking. Yeah. I'm just in love with the stars in the universe, just because of the opportunity.
The
out
vastness
there,
of what is this? What's out there
the
and
unknown.
everything. Yeah, the unknown.
I live in the city, which sucks. And we'll talk about New York City in a little bit here. But it sucks. Like when I look up, I don't see anything. But when I go home and when I go to the beach and I look up and you just see billions of stars out there, you can't help but wonder, like, is this it? Like, is there something else out there that I'm missing?
But why do you have that, like, is this it mentality?
I don't know. I don't know where that comes from. I think it just stems from, like, the movie Armageddon when I was like 8 or 9 years old watching that shit, because it's like, dude, like, we live on a planet that is not permanent. Like, life here is not forever. So
well, that's life in general, no?
Yeah, I don't like to accept that. I have a good feeling that in the next 10 years we'll learn how to push our age another 10, and then we might be the generation that just continues to, like, upgrade our body with, like, fucking electronics. Like, our kids might not die. I might die at like 300, 400. Maybe not me, but like some of my buddies, but dude, I'm very confident that technology is just going to keep going, and we're just going to get really lucky.
Well, here's a question for you. What do you think happens when you die?
Dude, fuck, man. How much time we got? This is a 45-minute episode. We might need a
45 minutes? I thought we'd be here forever.
No, I'm kidding. Dude, I don't know, man. A lot of people say, like when you watch YouTube videos or people that have died and come back, a lot of people just say it's peaceful, which is like really kind of alarming for me. You know what I mean? It's like,
well, you want it to be terrifying?
I don't know if I want it to be terrifying, but it's like a lot of people are like, yeah, like it ain't bad. Like, what the fuck do you mean, man? It's like it's just blackness and that's not bad.
I heard stories that when people
you
drown,
like feel comfy or
when
some
people
shit.
drown, like it's like it sucks at first, but then it's very euphoric, like on the way there.
I like being a human though. You know what I mean? I don't want to go yet.
So why do you want to go to outer space where you can die?
Yeah, you know what's funny? You know what's funny about you saying that? The further away in space that we're going to be traveling as humans, like eventually we're going to hit this point where it's like you're going to have to make that decision in the year 2150. Humans are going to be faced with the option of like, okay, you can either go travel to our closest star and never come back, or you can just not go and just stay in our solar system.
Well, like what's the I mean, when you do it, I guess we'll talk about dying later. Like, what's the distance from here to the moon? Like, how long it takes? Like,
I think it's
5 months.
5 months to the moon.
How long does it take?
No, I think it's like 12 days. Apollo got there, or no, maybe less. I think they got there in 4 days. I don't know, guys. Somebody fact check me on that. But
yeah,
dude, it's only I think it's 230,000 miles away. I think, or 2,400. I don't know. The moon is close as shit.
How long does it take to get to Mars?
I think it's like 6 months.
6 months.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess you could come there and back, but
Yeah.
again, like, is Mars is like a desolate planet? No.
Yeah, I mean, the whole thing with Mars, and Elon wants to go there and especially die there, which I think is kind of crazy. But Mars isn't.
He hates it here so much. Like, God forbid him and his millions.
Look, I'm on the Mars train. I fuck with Mars. The only thing is, I don't know if I had the option, I wouldn't go to Mars in our solar system, dude. There's like water worlds in our, Jupiter has like 50 moons, Saturn has moons, and there's water worlds that are like the beach. So why would you go to Mars where you can't breathe and you can go to the ocean? You know what I mean?
Exactly. Well, ask Elon Musk that. Apparently, he wants to go to Mars so fucking bad. He's like, Jesus Christ. Like, well, what's wrong with here?
Hey, Elon, if you're listening, I'll still come to Mars with you.
That's my point. Like, I mean, what's the big from you? I mean, you're big into space and like you follow all this stuff. Like, what's the big draw to besides exploration? Mm-hmm. What's the big idea that we need to go somewhere else to colonize and settle there because this is so bad here?
There are hundreds of answers, and it depends on your outlook on life, right? But for me, I think it's insurance, and I think it's having a backup plan, right? Our planet gets rocked by some fucking asteroids like every so often, right? And you do not want to be on this planet when a rock hits us out of control, right? And it's just having insurance. You don't want to put all your eggs in one bucket, bud. You know what I mean?
Well, I mean, this is me getting extra thinking about it super hard because I'm curious. All the species on Earth, I think there's a statistic 98% of them have all died.
Yeah.
I mean, we are the ones again. We're doing a podcast right now. What's this? What the fuck is this? A microphone? What is that? A camera? What makes us so special that we need to continue? You know what I mean? Like, it's just like,
Dude, that's the $1 trillion answer.
Yeah.
Like, why are humans the way we are?
Yeah.
Why are we able to do this shit? That's what I'm searching for, Pete.
Yeah,
I
I
feel like
understand.
space brings you there, right? Like, because it's all tied in together. You
but
know
again,
what
I like the idea of, you know, what if, like, what's out there? Like, I need to chase the dream, you know, let's go land on Mars and like colonize there. Let's go land on the moon. Apparently, you know, if we did that or
We're
not.
going
Did we do
back.
that?
Well, hey, we did do that, Pete. We're not getting into that this episode. Come on, we don't got time for that
No,
shit.
you're
That
right. I'm sorry.
that bullshit.
I was fucking with you.
Speaking of the going back to the moon, that's actually a great transition. You volleyed that up really nicely for me, so thank you.
I got you all day.
So, guys, today was supposed to be the Starliner launch, Boeing Starliner. All right, so let me explain what's going on here. NASA has this thing called the Commercial Crew Program. Okay, so they chose two companies. They chose SpaceX and they chose Boeing. SpaceX has flown 3 crews to the ISS so far through this Commercial Crew Program with Bob and Doug on the Crew Dragon space capsule, right? So those rocket launches that you've seen over the past year have been one demo flight, one full crew flight, and another full crew flight that SpaceX handled. Boeing shit the bed 2 years ago, and they fucked up their test flight. So now Boeing is back doing another test flight today or tomorrow. I mean, they failed today, but now it's scheduled for tomorrow. This is major that they have a successful flight because this would finally put Boeing where they need to be to carry crews to the International Space Station. The whole
Fire.
Yeah, the whole point of this is to have SpaceX and Boeing fly NASA astronauts to the ISS to get work done, right?
How far is the ISS from like our atmosphere?
I think it's 300 miles above or something like that.
Okay. And how long is like that flight path to get there? And what do they do out there?
Dude,
So many
there's
questions.
so much science and experiments going on up there. There's labs up there. They wear these like things 24/7 that monitor their bodies. And dude, space like kind of fucks up the human body. So the longer they
there's no
stay up
gravity
there,
out there, yeah.
the longer they stay up there, we're basically learning how space affects humans for the first time ever. You know what I mean?
Which is, I guess, a precursor of our life in the future. Maybe we could be
100%.
Well, I know
dude.
they have like maybe elliptical. They have like a bands out there that do exercises to keep their bodies healthy because if they didn't,
Oh,
they'd just
dude, they work
deteriorate-
out. They have to work out.
deteriorate and be like, I'll be like a slug. Like,
Dude, they have to. I think astronauts have to work out 2 hours a day every day while they're in space, or else their bodies just fucking like.
yeah, I'm
Hell
curious.
yeah.
I'm curious to know like if being in space like the effect of not having gravity does on aging.
It fucks you up.
If is it worse?
I think so. The two brothers that went to space, the Kelly brothers. I think the guy who went to space came home younger, right?
That's sick. Why does that fuck you up though?
Because general relativity, which is actually bringing us to our next topic.
Fuck
Peter's
yeah.
on a roll. Okay, so there was this light that came from behind a black hole. Did you see that in the news?
Again, they don't give a fuck about this.
Yeah.
It's fucked up. They don't tell us the important stuff.
So
you
you
know
know what's crazy
It's like,
to
who's
me?
the next TikTok star? Like,
You know
I want
what's-
to know about space.
You know what's funny to me? I feel like my algorithm is just space 24/7, and
yeah.
nobody else has it.
It gives you what you want, bro, which is kind of scary.
It's really scary. I mean, my For You page, just like I said, all
Space and
Cristiano
shit.
Ronaldo's girlfriend in space.
Mine's
it's-
just like titties. No, I'm just kidding.
No, all right. But all right. So this black hole news that came out. Basically, we found light coming from behind a black hole, which confirms Einstein's theory of general relativity, which big objects in space bend light. What's your opinion on light being bent in this universe? Literally bent.
My first thought about it is just like time travel for some reason. Like if you could bend light, why can't you bend like space in itself to go back or forward or left or right or 360 degrees? So the fact that we can understand that, okay, like there's light behind a black hole. With like, what the fuck is a black hole? Also, can I curse on here? By the way, I've been cursing.
You can
I mean,
curse.
fuck shit. I've been
Yeah,
cursing the
no.
whole time. The fact that there's something behind a black hole in itself is is that a black hole on your wall right there?
That is a black hole on my wall, Pete. So that's
Wow.
actually the first confirmed image of a black hole we've ever had from the Event Horizon Telescope.
I love that we're just talking about that. My first time realizing that.
Dude, how crazy is that though? And I'll try to put in a picture here for you guys to look at this now too. This is the cover of the New York Times, and this is actually before Space was exposed. So like even before this shit started, like I was collecting this shit, getting ready. You know what I mean? But one of the crazy things about black holes that I love is that it's known or it's believed that there is a supermassive black hole at the center of every galaxy. We think. And there's multiple black holes. There's like, I think, 1 trillion black holes within each galaxy. Like, dude, what is behind these fucking black holes?
Well, what's inside of these black holes?
I don't know. It's whatever
What-
they're taking in.
Yeah.
So like,
well, is it a forever like gravitational pull towards these black holes because they're so massive that they just have their own
they
atmosphere?
literally spaghettify anything else that comes near it. They suck everything in. Matter is literally sucked in. Like, it's so fucked up, dude. And I think that like people walk around, people go to work every day, worrying about, their significant other, or, their jobs. Meanwhile, there are holes in our universe. Literally,
there are holes in the sky.
Yeah, like you can just like take a telescope, and if you got to use the Event Horizon telescope, which is scattered around the world, which I'll do a video for you guys about. But dude, it's like these things exist out there. Why aren't more people excited about that?
Again, because it's just TikTok, bro. TikTok, man. Come on, who's dancing today? I don't know, dude. I mean, like, again, I want to be out there too. Like, it's definitely cool to imagine like what's out there, like aliens and black holes. But we're here. We're here. We're trying out there. I mean, like, hey, Jeff Bezos, got to go up to the sky. And,
Up to the sky.
and he, like, I mean, their big like space expedition, but they went like 100 feet in the air or some shit.
Dude, literally, yeah. It was a.
Dude, I'm shitting on
it was a-
space right now,
it's
bro.
a-
I love you,
yeah,
bro.
right.
Thanks for having me on, bro. by
No,
the
no
way.
problem,
I'm
Pete.
having a great time. This is so much fun.
No, but this was the Bezos flight. It was for 3 minutes of weightlessness, and it was a goal that he's always had his whole life. I personally love it because I think that you need to start somewhere with space tourism and everything like that, and I think I love it. I mean, look, it's Bezos' money. Let him do what he wants with it, right?
For sure. I mean, yeah. Thanks to everybody.
Would you go in that, by the way?
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
3 minutes of weightlessness. That sounds like a fun time, like floating around a little bit.
They
just
were
to
throwing
see-
Skittles at each other in the fucking
Damn.
spaceship.
How much would it cost?
I don't know how much the price is there. I mean, look, the auction for that seat.
Like I'm asking, like I know, like I'm gonna afford it one day.
so
like,
I don't know if you guys know
I am gonna
this.
afford it one day.
100%. You'll give us a couple months.
I'm a
here.
millionaire in like 2 days, so whatever.
The drama behind it was Blue Origin, Jeff Bezos' space company, auctioned off a seat for like $28 million, and then that guy who bought that seat for the auction mysteriously backed out. He had a scheduling conflict, so everybody was like, "What the fuck do you mean the scheduling conflict? How do you do that?" So
I mean,
then,
if you can afford $28 million, I'm sure you got some stuff on your schedule.
so let me tell you this. Then after that guy backed out, they then invited an 18-year-old. Now he's the youngest kid to ever go to space.
So they invited him, or like did he pay for it? Not
I
him,
think
like, or his
it
dad,
was
or
something.
dad
That,
paid
hey,
for it. or
shout
something.
out Oliver. I actually invited him on the podcast. You're welcome to come on whenever you want,
Come
my man.
on,
But no, I don't know how he got it. Maybe friends. Maybe he's. I think he's also a pilot at 18, so maybe that had something to do with it. Maybe he's boys with Bezos. Who knows? I respect the fuck out of
Maybe
that.
he's a
Hopping in a
secret millionaire,
spaceship for the first. Dude, that was the first time they ever tested that crew capsule. There was the first
They
human.
tested it a bunch of times.
Yeah, but the first humans that ever flew in it was Bezos' brother, Wally Funk, who's 82, and then Oliver, which
what
is
makes
not-
it so special, basically, like that one capsule than any other thing before?
That's a great question, Pete, and I think a lot of the listeners right now would love to hear that. So the difference is this. So with the space tourism companies, you have Virgin Galactic, which is Richard Branson's company, which is kind of like a little puddle hopper plane. You know what I mean? Like it's a plane that goes up. So basically, so you take a plane.
Like an airplane.
Your spaceship is on the bottom of that plane. You then take off in the air and you go to space, and then you land like an actual jet. That's one thing. You only get like 3 or 4 minutes of weightlessness. Blue Origin is very similar, but you actually get shot off in a rocket from the ground, and you land on the sand in your crew capsule, right? So those are the difference there. SpaceX can actually go someplace. So they can go to the moon. They can go to Mars because they actually have a crew capsule designed for space travel. So there's space tourism companies, and then there's obviously the people who are doing space exploration, if that makes sense, right? So this Boeing Starliner that's about to take off tomorrow for a liftoff is a space exploration capsule. This thing is going to take astronauts to the moon and beyond, rather than Jeff Bezos and Richard Branson can only take people to, right above where space begins.
So what stratosphere did they go to? Like
It's called the Kármán line, dude. There's so much beef.
I get mad about it and shit.
No, there's on space Twitter right now, everybody's freaking out about it because, to me, there is no official line. Look, if you look out and you're above the atmosphere and you see blackness of space, you can see the curvature of the Earth. You're in space, in my opinion. But now, the
Yeah, people were debating. Like I did some research too myself because I'm a big space guy, by the way. That they're like, they weren't really in space. They're still in the atmosphere of the Earth or some shit. They're talking shit.
I think that's such a horrible take. I mean, dude, go up there and see it for yourself. You're in space. You know what I mean? Do it for yourself. I think these people can all talk that shit, for likes online, but reality is would you go in that rocket?
Fuck yeah. Well, like my question is, what did you see? Like, did he say, Jeff Bezos or whoever went out in that rocket? Did they say how they felt like looking down?
But yeah, that's the whole point of it. It's called the overview effect, and
Yeah.
the overview effect basically rips apart boundaries. It rips apart race. It rips apart dividers on this planet, and it really makes you realize, like, holy shit, we are all on this beautiful blue ball together, and what my actions are kind of affect other people as well. You know, and I think that that's really important with the overview effect too, where it's like we're all on this planet together. Everything we do is really important, that we need to start realizing that, like, to treat our planet the right way, right? You only get one shot at this. And I think that when Bezos goes to space, he came back and immediately announced like a new fund for billions of dollars for the planet and shit like that. You know, Branson's trying to motivate people to be a better person and, rip down these dividers that we all have as humans. And I think that's really important. I wish everybody
looking at
could
your
get
screen
that.
right now he has like a little his like TV is like
I got Earth from Space live.
Yeah, Earth
That's
from Space. Is it live?
No, well, if you go
That
on
looks
YouTube,
nice.
I watch this all day long. Like, I don't watch TV. I go on YouTube and I type in Earth from Space, and I just have it on 24/7.
Yeah. I mean, looking at it, just looking down, you're just like, wow, like I live there. Like somewhere in this like picture, I live in a town, like in a house, with my dog, and like we're here together. So I think it's cool. I think more people need to have that that effect.
Everybody needs it.
Like
It's so important.
like to I can then like an out of body experience. Like when I'm walking around, just like life, just like I'm always looking at people and thinking, like, are they thinking like how I'm thinking? Like, do they think about like their goals and their vision? Like, do they have a picture in their brain of themselves of where they want to be? Like, I just look at them and see no, like. I don't. Like, it sucks because like I'm constantly thinking those things, but I feel like a lot of people are just so accustomed to just the phone or like their routine of work, and they don't really think of the big picture. Like looking down, like I'm looking at this right now. I'm just like I'm so just a bunch of emotions are coming over me right now.
Yeah.
It's a crazy feeling that we live all on this
Yeah.
on this planet,
And
but
it's not necessarily like our fault for the majority of people not giving a fuck about space in the universe, because think about our generation, right? We're millennials, and speaking for other millennials, we got absolutely screwed, okay? When we were growing up, we had a lot of shuttle problems, right? You had those disasters that happened, and then from there, we didn't have a way to get to space from 2000, that last shuttle mission, I think it was in 2011, to 2020 last year, and it's like, how could we get excited about space when nobody was going to space? There was no research being done up there. I didn't have good space teachers growing up. I didn't in my science class, they didn't teach me too much about the universe, and they didn't get me excited about it. So one of my goals is to be that adult teacher to hype people to fuck up about space, because it should be hype. Rocket launches are awesome. There is so much horsepower behind these engines, right? And it's like, people need to realize that learning about space doesn't necessarily need to be in a classroom setting. Like, you can grab some beers, you can grab some weed, you can learn about it in a fun setting when you come to Space with Spo. And I think that's one of the reasons why things have been working, is because it's the passion is there, and this is legitimately such an important topic that people need to learn more about.
what do you think is most important that people need to learn about, like with space in general?
I would say the overview effect is the single-hand most importantly thing, because if everybody was able to see the planet, I guarantee you the world would be a better place. And that's just a fact. A fact. Because everything gets ripped down once you see the overview effect. And not even that. Advancements in space and science help better our life here on Earth. So the more research that we do in space, the better life becomes here on our planet. And think about if everybody knew that. Sometimes I wonder, what if everybody on this planet was required to work a space job? How far along would we be in space exploration? How far into the cosmos would we be? Would we even have the same mindset that we have as humans right now if you had to work towards advancing our species into the cosmos? All right, we just had a quick mic problem, but we are back. Okay, last topic of the day I want to touch on. Actually, two more things. First thing I want to talk about is one of the biggest pieces of news that's happening right now in the space world, and that is that Jeff Bezos is begging to build a moon lander for our upcoming Artemis program. And the Artemis program is going to put humans back on the moon by 2024. And
That's like soon.
yeah, NASA basically agreed to only one moon lander, and they chose SpaceX. So Jeff Bezos protested that shit, and he's like, what the fuck? Why wouldn't you build 2 moon landers? He's like, I want to build a moon lander. They said no. They challenged it. The ruling actually came back on Saturday, I think it was, that nope, SpaceX did nothing wrong. There was no cheating. So now NASA's going to proceed with that one moon landing system for SpaceX. Bezos now wrote a letter to NASA offering them $2 billion and to build his own moon lander as long as he can participate in the program. What do you think about that?
I was gonna say, like, why is there such like a conflict of who can build something and who can't?
Dude, I wish it was that simple, Pete. I mean, it's like, in my opinion,
I mean,
take
guy got
the money.
He's got $2 billion. He's got like probably $2 trillion. Like, yeah, here's $2 billion. Shut the fuck up. I'm building my own space shit.
Yeah, and that just goes to show you that, like, he's all in. Bezos is all in on this space shit. He wants to build this moon lander. He is putting $2 billion of his own dollars up, and at the end of it, he also put in some other incentives out there. I don't know if this is legally possible. I don't know if NASA can accept this, but in my mind, there are certain situations in life where you got to say, screw the rules. This just makes sense. He's going to fill like $2 billion of like funds that they didn't have.
I feel like there's a lot of like litigation behind all the things that make it more difficult for people to get more advancements in like space stuff. So yeah, eventually you're gonna be like, fuck you. Here's $2 billion. Like, I mean, I wish it was like that simple with everybody in their dreams. but yeah, sometimes you gotta be like, fuck you. Here's $2 billion. I'm gonna build my own rocket ship and go to the moon.
Yeah. You obviously, what's your opinion on just having 2 players in the mix?
I think it's good for competition.
It's got to be, right?
Competition is good for just advancements in life in general. I mean, when there's one thing doing everything, that's like what, like fascism or some shit. So like, so when there's multiple people doing, doing the same thing, it creates, a competition vibe, and then we can, get to the moon faster. I mean, we can land there and probably live there and have sex there and stuff.
100%. And I was actually thinking about this. In the next
sex on the moon.
In the next 20 to 50 years, there will be the first child born in space.
Wow.
And we don't know how that kid's gonna end up yet, but I mean,
probably fucked up.
Well, I mean, the thing is, it's like, dude, we need to understand more about pregnancy in space, right? Yeah. That's why we got to get up there.
Yeah, we got to get up there and have sex.
So, Pete, what do you got coming up this month, this year? What are you excited about for the I Get It podcast and just that like lifestyle that you're promoting? Like, what do you got going on?
I'm excited for just life. I'm excited for creating more with people that are interested and just living in my fundamental values of just I get it. Just understanding what I have to do to make myself super great and just achieving my goals. And creating a vision, like creating a picture in my brain of what I want to be, and just taking the steps I need to attain those goals. So just again on the path, just keep moving.
Respect. Yeah. And do you want to shout out the real estate at all, or you?
Yeah, if you want to buy or sell a house in New Jersey, let me
I wasn't
know.
sure if you wanted to bring that up.
That's pretty much it.
Yeah, but yeah, Pete,
buy or sell a house in New Jersey, you talk to me. The Pick Peanut Group of Coldwell Banker in New Jersey.
Shout out.
More specifically in Clifton, New Jersey. So, yeah. The market's still great.
Hell yeah. I love that.
Interest rates are really low.
Well, hey, guys. So massive shout out to Pete for coming by today, for being like the first in-person guest for the second half of season 1 of the Space with Spo show. We're going to get you back. I want you to be like our deep talks guy, all right? Like whenever I'm stressed out, we're going to have Pete on. He's going to calm me down, and we're going to talk about life and shit because we flow, bro. We had a great conversation today, and I think that the listeners are really going to enjoy it, And these in-person style interviews is something that is really important for me to get better at. So I just wanted to say thank you for coming by because like it took some stress off my back that, you're my boy, and it's like I can make mistakes in this first couple rounds of in-person interviews, and that means a lot to me, right? And the only way you're going to get better at something is if you do it. So this kind of pushed me off the diving board for a little bit, and I was like, you know what? Let's make this fucking happen today, right? And now I'm only going to get better from here, right?
Exactly, bro. I'm happy that you're again, like you doing this makes me happy. So no matter where it goes, your ups and downs or whatever, as long as you love doing this, that's all that matters.
And we're going to have you on in a couple weeks, and by the next time you come on, this board will be mostly full. Each tally is an episode that I completed. So episode 21, is this 21? No, this is 22.
Either way, it's amazing.
Either one officially locked in. I get it, Pete. Pete, have a great night.
Thank you, buddy. Appreciate you.